Hi guys, today we are going to create a cinematic title reveal on Premiere Pro. So, let's see the preview. The first step is of course creating our title, so go to the toolbar next to your timeline and choose the text tool. Now click on your program monitor and type your title. We are going to type reveal title as an example. Now your title will probably be 5 seconds long, but you can make it as long as you want. We are going to go for a 10 seconds long. Before we start with the animation, let's stylize our title a little bit. This we can do in the Essential Graphics panel. If you can't find it, you can go to the menu on the top select window and choose Essential Graphics. Here we have all the usual character and paragraph settings. The first thing we are going to adjust title on all caps. I know you can of course also do this by typing in all caps, but you can also just press this button right here to change your text to all caps with the click of a button. Then adjust the scale to whatever you want. Change the text aligned from left to center. And you can also play around with the spacing between the letters, however, we don't want the last letter to get a spacing as that will give aligning problems later on. So select all your text but the last letter and then change the spacing value. So next up is aligning your text to the center of the frame, which you can easily do with these two buttons right here. The first effect that we're going to add is the mirror effect. Drag this from your effects library to the text layer. Then let's go to the effects control panel and start changing some settings here. First, you set the reflection angle to 90 degrees. Then move the reflection center up until your text is completely gone. You can now make a keyframe for that value by clicking on the stopwatch of that property. Then go to the end of your clip and move the reflection center down, revealing the mirrored clip and separating it from your original text. Of course, make your last keyframe smooth by right-clicking on it and choose Temporal Interpolation Ease In. This will slowly stop the animation on the ends. The first keyframe, however, doesn't need ease because it starts at the beginning of the clip and we don't want our animation to start slow. Next up, we're going to create a mask on the text clip. Now this mask will eventually remove the mirror text when it animates outside of the mask. So let's open up the opacity property and create a rectangle mask. Scale it's bigger than your title and increase feather. Now play our animation. You can see that at first we have nothing, then the text reveals itself, but mirrored, and eventually the mirror text disappears beyond the mask. This is already looking great, but we are going to add some more details to it. And the first detail is a blur on the mirrored text. Now to achieve this we are going to create an adjustment layer. Right-click in your project panel, choose New and pick Adjustment Layer, then drag it on the top of your timeline and make sure that it has the same length as your title clip. Then in the effects library, we're going to search for the Gaussian blur effect and drag that to the adjustment layer. In the effects controls panel, you can change the blurriness to around 200, but we are also going to change the blur dimensions to horizontal. Now this will only add a horizontal blurriness and will give you a very cool effect on the letters. Now again from the opacity property, make a rectangle mask on the adjustment layer, then place that beneath the original text so it only covers the mirror text, and finally feather the mask. Let's just do a few more things to finish off the effect. Select both clips, right-click, and choose Nest to group them together. Now with that nested sequence selected, head over to the motion properties and create a keyframe at the beginning for the scale, then move to the end of the clip and set the value to 110, and this will add a slight zoom to the title which makes it much more dynamic. And again only give your last keyframe an ease in, and that's it. Now of course you can also add a background to it and some cool music like this and make it even more cinematic.